Bullshit.
Executives, let stakeholders drive your strategy. It's the No Bullshit Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich, CEO and founder of Massolutions, the world's only no bullshit marketing company. I came across an article that will bring you value. It's by Graham Kenny, and it's in Harvard Business Review. And the title is Executives, Let Stakeholders Drive Your Strategy. This article brings you so much value because it shows how we have been doing strategy since the textbooks started teaching it in 1965, and we're still doing it the same way even though things have changed. Here's the process. The process is there are external trends that companies try to figure out for their industry and their competitors. And then there are internal team members who are trying to align what the company does with what they see happening externally. The article points out how the problem with this two-way approach is that we're actually describing strategy, not creating strategy. Graham Kenny gives an analogy of trying to explain how a painter paints instead of seeing the art that was created by an artist who's a painter. Because when you follow this approach that's been around for so long, you're getting people at the company to gather information about the external trends and changes and what's going on. And you're then trying to fit that with what you're already doing and how you already do it. And yes, there's some strategy happens when you think of ways to adapt how you do things slightly and so forth. But what he advocates in the HBR article is let the stakeholders drive that strategy by telling you what they think about you, your competitors, and the industry. Sounds logical. Sounds like common sense. But it's not done a lot, I can tell you that. Talking to external stakeholders, talking to clients, prospective clients, referral sources, others involved, maybe vendors, strategic partners, going out and asking them a set pattern of questions and hearing what they think and feel gives you that true real-time perspective of hearing from the people that are the external audiences, the external stakeholders. Now, Kenny, in the article, suggests that the executives do these calls themselves. I like it. I think it's great. There's a time to that and a cost to that, and you have to coach the executives a little bit. So if you're going to have the CEO, CFO, COO, somebody else making 4, 5, 6 calls, 10 calls each, you have to carve out that time for them. You have to build the questions. You have to coach them up so that they're comfortable with listening. If you're able to pull that off, I see value in that. I think a lot of people won't be comfortable with doing that, or they'll do it not as systematically, and that will deteriorate some of the value. But if you are that rare organization that can get those executives to make those calls, be systematic, ask the same questions, listen, and then track what they heard, then you want to bring outside external experts at strategy from a marketing standpoint, strategy from a customer experience standpoint, and strategy from a marketing management standpoint. If you aren't able to pull that off with the executive team, then the lower cost and higher value is to have someone externally that's got a track record of asking those kind of questions, has a team of people that do that regularly and have put in the 10,000 hours to become experts at that, and have them do that and bring the value, and then still have experts, external and internal, reviewing what was found out so that you cover up blind spots and build your marketing strategy, your storytelling strategy, and your organizational strategy and management strategy all tied together. And of course, those all have to tie back to your financial strategy. I say all of that because the word strategy has meaning that is different to just about everybody. So there's financial strategy. So your financial team and your CFO, they think strategy means financial strategy. Your operations team thinks it's operational strategy. Your marketing, internal, external people think it's marketing and storytelling strategy. The reality is there is strategy that has to blend together from each of those disciplines. The other reality is just having internal people doing that strategy is a recipe for disaster. And I've seen big, medium, and small companies all miss opportunities and put themselves behind competition by doing it 80 to 90% themselves with the strategy. So my first point is, anyone you talk to in the business world will say they know strategy. The way that strategy has been taught, as the article mentions, is that you have external trends being studied by internal people looking at what the external trends are, the changes, the competition, and those same internal people are looking at what the company does best and then aligning what the company does best with what they see happening and possibly changing. That's okay. And from 1965 to 1995, pre-internet, that worked quite well. But as the internet got more and more powerful and change happened quicker, and there's all these things going on, that type of talking about how strategy is done as opposed to actually doing strategy is no longer what the peak performers are doing. So I want you as a leader, as an executive, to move into that peak performing place and to steal market share and to improve profitability by letting stakeholders drive your strategy. Having the right questions to ask those stakeholders, which include current customers, potential customers, hopefully maybe even a past customer or two, centers of influence, referral sources, vendors, strategic partners. Gather the information by asking us systematic questions in a systematic way, listening and tracking what you hear, and then reviewing what's heard and looking at the trends that are coming back from what you're hearing again and again by those key stakeholders. That can drive real strategy, and you can create your strategy instead of just talk about and describing strategy like the old way. So thanks for listening to another episode of the No Bullshit Marketing Show, recorded here in our studio in bold, beautiful downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Remember, ask yourself, what's the big idea? And build your story around the answer. It's all about bold solutions, no BS.